Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wealth Journey. It occurred to me the other day that I should probably take stock and compare where I currently am against where I plan to be by now. So this is what this video is going to be about. So let's dive right in. When I started on this journey around 18 months ago now, I wanted to go from zero to £25,000 tax-free every year without having to work for the rest of my life. When I modelled that, I ended up using inputs such as when I would stop investing my money, when I would move my funds from so-called high-risk companies into more mature, stable ones, to when I would start to sell and draw down from my investments to live off, what age. I got to a number in my head in which I was happy with and I thought I could make work. Basically, that number was if I could get to a point where at the age of 35, I could have somewhere in the region of £330,000. At that point, I would consider stopping working, save up a year's worth of expenses and go travel and see the world. So I would end up with a position that looks a little bit like this. Stage 1, invest £20,000 a year, taking advantage of the yearly ISA allowance. Do that between the ages of 30 to 35 and invest in good quality growth stocks and try and achieve 35% compound annual growth rate. Then with any spare money above and beyond that, put it into savings to use for that year out. Stage 2. Once that pot hit £330,000, stop investing, don't put any more in, stop working and live off of those savings that I've got and allowing the pot to grow for a further year or two before stage 3. Start to transition the pot into more stable companies, dividend growth companies potentially, and start to actually live off the pot and draw down from it. And that ultimately is live happily ever after the end. Now, after reviewing my actions and position to date, well, things have changed. First off, the initial 35% growth rate I was expecting has actually turned out to be close to 60% so far. To compare, the ISA balance in my initial plan was supposed to be at around £54,000 at this stage. It is at around £84,000 at the same point at the end of October. If I don't change any of the assumptions going forward and keep the 35% compound annual growth rate, but instead of only drawing £25,000 a year, inflation adjusted from the age of 37, I can actually take £40,000 from the age of 37. This is why investing in good quality companies is the key to financial freedom. Those companies that are actually making a difference. They're offering a product or service that solves a problem and brings benefit to humanity. They're the ones that I want to invest in. The real difference is that by the time I hit 35, the value of my ISA will end up being worth around £520,000 now, I believe, which is over £194,000 greater than I planned at that point. So this graph that I'm going to bring up now will look more or less identical to the one which I first showed. The only difference is that the scale or the value of the pot on the left hand side. This now has the pot growing to a peak of over £800,000 instead of only a peak of £530,000 in my original plan. Now, the real beauty of what has happened in my journey is that I got the opportunity to remortgage my house last year and release equity, which I took up the offer from the bank, thank you, and invested more money into Tesla when it dipped. Now, I'm not saying that I timed the market perfectly or anything like that. I was probably a week or two too late, but that's by the by. Since then, that has more or less doubled in value and is sat currently in my general investing account. This general investing account will be used each April when the new tax year starts, and £20,000 will be sold and moved across into my ISA account, maxing that out every year. This is the account we're actually talking about above. Furthermore, I believe that the saving element, phase or stage 2, that I was planning to do, in addition to the money that I was putting away into the ISA, is, well, kind of done for me. I believe that I have enough money already invested to hit and exceed my target. This also enables me to be a little less risky with my investment decisions and will hopefully ensure that my investment pot will see me through and mean I don't need to return to the workplace to fund my lifestyle later on. I hope this relatively short video has been of interest. If it has, drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. But until next time, stay safe.